Once upon a time in a small, bustling town in Africa, a newly wedded couple Uche and Chichi were seen sitting on a bench outside the house, with happy faces holding hands and watching the sunset. A young couple full of dreams. They were filled with the hopes of a bright future. But sometimes, love alone isn't enough to carry the weight of responsibility in a family. Uche, a taxi driver, was dedicated to his work, had his OND certificate in management, but was not able to get a job and to further his studies, so he decided to be a taxi driver, while Chichi a primary school teacher. Uche smiling, looking at Chichi. Chichi, I still can't believe we're finally married. Feels like a dream come true. But a few months after their wedding, Chichi discovered she was pregnant. The news filled their hearts with happiness, and they spoke eagerly of the child they would bring into the world. But as Chi-Chi's belly grew, so did the weight of expectations and struggles they had not foreseen. Unfortunately, he could not manage all the expenses that were coming in, especially when they discovered that Chi-Chi had taken in. Although he was excited about the pregnancy, inwardly he was worried, especially when Chi-Chi kept telling him, Uche my love, we need to save. We need more money in this house for upkeep. Uche usually replies, God will provide, have faith Chi-Chi my love. Chi-Chi in the early stages of pregnancy, still glowing with excitement. She touches her belly with a smile as Uche walks by. But as the weeks pass, Chi-Chi's body changes significantly. She tried to squeeze into a dress that no longer fit. She became worried. With the pregnancy came changes. As the months went by, Chi-Chi's body grew fuller, and she began to gain weight. Feelings of insecurity slowly overshadowed her joy as her appearance transformed. But the changes in her body were not the only struggles she faced. Although Uche had noticed the changes too, initially he didn't say anything, probably thought Chi-Chi would adjust, but it did not happen as he thought. Uche coming home one evening. He looked at Chi-Chi with a hint of displeasure as she sits at the table. Her face chubby and her movements slower than before. Uche with a harsh voice, Chi-Chi, look at yourself. You're getting so big so quickly. Are you even trying to control yourself? Madam, don't you look at yourself in the mirror. You are eating too much in this house. I suggest you eat just once a day. In my opinion, you are just wasting food, my hard-earned money. I go to work every day, Chi. All you do is to eat and eat. No wonder food doesn't last in this house. Common woman. Start from today to cut down expenses. Chi-Chi, very hurt, didn't expect to hear all these harsh words from Uche. It was unlike him, so she started pleading. Uche, please. I'm doing my best. The pregnancy is making me gain weight. I can't help it. Uche, hitting his hands on the dining table, replied. Chichi, you mean you cannot control your weight? This is outrageous, Madam Chichi. How can you say a thing like that? How? Now Chichi became very sick, and one terrible day she started bleeding. They rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. She lost the baby. Uche and Chi-Chi are still at the hospital. Chi-Chi lies in a bed, staring blankly at the wall. Her body is weak, and her spirit is broken. Uche stands by the window, his face hard and resentful. Uche voice filled with anger. How could this happen, Chi-Chi? What did you do wrong? You couldn't even take care of the baby, he spoke harshly. Chi-Chi whispering, tears rolling down her cheek. Uche, please. I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm hurting too. Instead of comforting his grieving wife, Uche's words only deepened her wounds. He blamed her for the loss, and his anger found an easy target in Chi-Chi, who already felt like a failure. Back at home, Chi-Chi trying to get back to her daily routine, but she moves slowly, her eyes hollow and her body tired. Uche's voice is heard in the background, continuing with his harsh, hurting words. With the weight of Uche's constant blame and her grief pressing down on her, Chi-Chi struggled to hold on to the hope she once had. She had lost more than just the baby. She had lost the belief that things could get better. Chi-Chi decided to go back to her teaching job, to mingle with others. Uche was completely against Chi-Chi's wanting to go back and teach. Uche said, "Chi-Chi, have you forgotten that the doctor advised that you should have plenty of rest? It's been only 1 month since the passing of our child." Chi-Chi listened. "To cut a long story short, you must stay at home. If you disobey me, I will be forced to cut you off." Chi-Chi began to cry and pleaded with Uche. "Please, Uche, allow me to go back to work. I am tired of staying at home doing nothing, and besides you complain I eat all your food at home. You complain you do not have money, so I would like to help out," Chi-Chi said quietly. Uche sitting down listening to Chi-Chi speak. He replied, "Stay at home woman final," with an angry look on his face. Chi-Chi was sad. Unfortunately, she had no one to talk to. Uche practically stopped her from visiting her family and friends. Chi-Chi was very sad. Chi-Chi had no option but to obey. As months went by, Chi-Chi got pregnant again. Chi-Chi was very worried, because the situation at home had not changed. So one day she asked Uche softly. As months passed, Uche struggled to keep up with the demands of life. His income from driving the taxi wasn't enough to make ends meet. Yet, Chi-Chi remained hopeful, even as her belly grew heavier, and her steps grew slower. Chi-Chi suddenly winces, clutching her belly, her face contorted in pain. Chi-Chi voice trembling, "Uche, think it's time. The baby. We need to go to the hospital." Uche's heart raced as panic set in. They hadn't saved enough for the hospital fees. How could they face this now? Uche helping Chi-Chi out the door, struggling to mask his anxiety. Uche voice shaky. "Are you sure we can't wait a little longer? Maybe the pain will pass." Chi-Chi pleading in pain, "Uche, there's no time. Please. We need to go now." At the hospital reception area, Uche rushes in, holding Chi-Chi's hand. She is placed in a wheelchair, and he hurries over to the front desk. Uche's worst fears became reality. Without the money for a deposit, Uche pleading with the nurse, "Please, my wife is in labor. We need help." Nurse coldly and arrogantly looking at her files. "Do you have the deposit for the hospital fees?" Uche voice breaking, "I don't have it right now, but I'll get it. Please just help her." Nurse without looking up, "Sir, we have policies. No payment, no treatment. You'll have to go to a public hospital." Chi-Chi grips Uche's hand tightly, crying out in pain. In that moment, Uche felt completely powerless. The weight of his unpreparedness bore down on him like a heavy stone. His wife was suffering, and there was nothing he could do. Noticing the commotion, a doctor who walks by. Doctor approaching sternly. "What's happening here?" Uche desperately. "Doctor, my wife is in labor. They won't treat her because I can't pay the deposit." The doctor looks at Chi-Chi, who is now almost unconscious from the pain. Doctor voice firm. "Get her to the operating room immediately. I'll take responsibility for the payment." The doctor's words cut through the air like a beacon of hope. For a moment, Uche felt relief, as if a hand had lifted him from the darkness. He realized that, indeed, one has to prepare for delivery on time, to avoid embarrassment. In the hospital room hours later, Chi-Chi is lying in bed, pale but alive. A tiny baby boy next to her, swaddled in a blanket. Uche sits by her side, holding her hand. His face is etched with guilt and exhaustion. Doctor entering, his tone serious. "Your wife and baby are stable now, but it was close. Too close." Voice shaking, "Doctor, I don't know how to thank you. You saved them." Doctor firmly, "Don't thank me. Learn from this. Your wife and child nearly died because you weren't prepared. Unfortunately, too many women die because of carelessness and not being prepared and being ready on time. Look, men. Pregnancy takes 9 months, not 9 days," the doctor said angrily. Each word struck Uche like a hammer. The weight of his carelessness had nearly cost him everything. Doctor continuing, Pregnancy is not just about the woman carrying the child. It's about the man standing by her, providing and protecting. It's about being ready for every possibility. Uche, voice trembling, nodding, "I understand, doctor. I swear, I'll never let this happen again," Uche said, trembling. A few weeks later, Uche and Chichi were at home. Uche is now taking on more responsibilities, helping Chichi care for their baby and working extra hours as a taxi driver. The weight of responsibility is heavy, but when carried with love and determination, it transforms. What was once a burden can become a source of strength. Uche had learned that love was more than just words. It was action, sacrifice, and being prepared for whatever life may bring. Chichi, smiling, holding their baby. "Uche, we've come a long way, haven't we? We still have so much to do, but we'll face it together." Uche, voice filled with resolve. "Yes, Chichi, from now on, I'll be the husband and father you and our baby deserve." Uche got into his taxi early in the morning, working tirelessly. It then shifts to him helping Chichi with the baby, who giggles in his arms. Uche's commitment to change is seen through his hard work daily. Uche learned that true strength is not measured by words or promises. It is measured by the weight of responsibility a person carries, especially as a man. And as he embraced this new path, he discovered a newfound purpose, one that bound him even closer to his family. Soft sound of a baby's laughter echoing in the background. This story focuses on a transformative journey and conveys the impact of taking responsibility and being prepared for life's challenges. It also teaches us that love is not just a feeling but a commitment backed by actions, support, and preparation. One learns that true responsibility goes beyond faith and hope. It requires proactive steps, sacrifices, and emotional support, especially in times of vulnerability. When we dismiss or neglect the needs of those we love, we risk causing pain and damaging relationships. This story reminds us to be considerate, to value the well-being of our loved ones, and to understand that being responsible makes us stronger, more dependable, and ready to face life's challenges together.